a bit of a chat about Jinn, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat to do with psychic energy, and I hope it's not echoing too much. I need to get another carpet in hand. Very, very separately, I am going to do a video that is the spiritual connection of TFs and how that directly relates. And I'm cleaning up because I'm doing all the readings at the moment. Now, psychic energy is part of the spiritual awakening, okay? So we all have it. We had Sadhguru. I did put a little post up in the community tab, and it was to do with Sadhguru, black magic, dark energy, psychic attacks, and more. Now, the reason I cover this area is because I am a psychic medium, and also when you look at the origin of where psychic energy came from, it can link way back to Egypt, okay? And the Egyptians, you can look at the origin of where they were directly connected to. Now, the Jinn is directly connected to the psychic energy, and with anything, as Sadhguru mentions, in the early times, magic was used more for good than evil. But as it developed, you know, in modern times, it's what we call black magic, white magic. It all comes down to the vibration of what you are. Now, we are all yin and yang. We all have higher and lower octane. So when you start moving through your awakening, which is videos I'm directly doing at the moment, so I apologize if I'm kind of cleaning up as I'm talking. You know, your third eye's opening basically, and your psychic energy, is underdeveloped. So when your psychic energy is underdeveloped, what you'll find is you're more prone to psychic attacks. Because if you are believing in a world that is very 3D, your viewpoint and understanding, thanks Sway, is it's very limited. Because the healthy boundaries, we're all energy. Look at ourselves as a plug to the universe. You are connected in and you're connected in. So what we put out is what we get back. But undertrained third eye is very susceptible to psychic attacks. Now, initially, psychic energy went, like I mentioned, all the way back to Egypt. Now, the Jinn removal I put up, a few people have said, but how do I explain it? That frequency that you put up is Islamic. Now, the reason, you can pick Hindu, you can pick whatever. The origin of psychic energy went all the way back, and it was directly, you know, psychic energy isn't what we call a blessing. It does come with the higher octane and the lower octane depending on the development of the psychic energy. And when I say psychic energy, of how you can use it and what you use it for. As we say, we have yin and yang, we have black moon Lilith, we have, you know, we've got divine feminine. So we all fall into those categories. And when we don't use it effectively, you're actually, when your aura is down, your psychic attacks are more, but you can't use an aura cleansing to get rid of Jinn. Because while you are channeling, and we're always channeling, okay? When you're thinking about your future, you're channeling. When you are thinking about a karmic, you are channeling. And the thing is, it's permission-based. So when we say, and I heard some people say it this week, are we the karmic? In life, that of what we are is that of what we vibrate. If somebody is thinking on you and your aura is down, yes, you'll be more susceptible. Hi, Eddie. But like I mentioned, the reason that meditation I put up is because it's from where the psychic energy originated from. And story goes that psychic mediums were like gypsies, and it was an inherited gift. It was handed down through lineage. So directly speaking, there was a curse that directly occurred with that, which it's not really a curse. The shadow side of it is we can, a little bit like a Ouija, but you can usher dark energy in. So you need to know how to connect with it. Now, even in every culture, they do have that belief. And what it is the evil eye. So the evil eye is a person, third eye, directly tuning into you and it's coming back at you. You're sensing it. Sometimes you're simultaneously thinking of each other, and it's like a hyperlinked telephone call through your psyche, which is spirituality. So be it you're Muslim, Christian, you're directly thinking on that energy. But yes, there's Gaia source energy that can protect you. But again, when your aura is down, when you're feeling distorted and you're feeling you don't have control, that can be when you're sick as well. Again, a lot of psychic attachment and the psychic attacks. So we need to be very mindful, and meditation is spirituality. So when we say meditation, it can simply be put of nothingness, okay? So you're not letting anything come in and you're not putting anything out. And it takes a lot of mind mastery to be able to do that. And that's why I say developing your psychic gift is crucial. When you're feeling a vibration, to be able to directly work on it without it being that, like you're the nav man, okay? So if you are allowing that embodiment of an energy to control you, it's a spiral and it's going to keep moving and then it's going to come back. So the mastering of psychic development is spirituality, but it's also permission-based. What you let in, what you let out. That's why here at Yildiz Readings, I do actually explain to you different ways you can use your energy to handle what happens. One thing is if you're feeling something in a sense of attachment. I've had a lot of things happen over the years. I've had out-of-body experiences. I have had psychic attacks. There was a video I was looking at the other day, and it was a person who was in a holy temple and he was directly getting moved about. And the thing is, water in a home that is damp can actually manifest malignant energy, dark energy. When we have certain aspects astrologically, it's more so. So at the moment, yes, we do have transits at the moment that can be bringing that in. What other thing can I say? If we have sometimes, and that's why, in spiritual practice, we clear our homes. Now, when your aura and your psychic energy is in alignment, and it's both, you are very protected, and you always are protected, but yes, you can become very vulnerable to psychic attacks, and those things can be very similar to paranormal activity. I have actually had that happen. You can use gems, you can use spirituality, you can use clearing of your house. So the one thing I have found is your headaches. You will start getting headaches. It is a person, in a sense, fixating and thinking on you. And if you directly are thinking on that individual and they have, I'll give you an example. If you know a person that maybe has substance abuse, that maybe is doing things that they shouldn't do to their body, maybe is around very toxic individuals in the 3D of what society would feel is such, you are directly channeling and you will start embodying that person's energy. So you do need to be very mindful of what you bring in and how to get rid of it. So we are consumers. It's like you are consuming the energy and it will embody you. Very similar to, what we talk about in certain cultures where they're having to have exorcisms. You are embodying a frequency, be it just simply at a vibration. You are getting to a place where if you're in a very negative energy all the time, you can then become the host. And it was funny because in the channeling I did previously, I did say, like parasitic, you've got to rip it off. And it is linked to the head. It's like you will need to remove it. So it's the strength of mind, but it's clear. And when you want your third eye to be open, which, in spiritual temples, they'll use smoking ceremonies. Some cultures, they use olive leaves. And they burn it to cleanse and purify the soul. When people pass, we do the same principle. The way we set up the room in spirituality is very important as well. Shiny surfaces are reflective. The way you face your feet, because in spirituality, especially in most cultures, the way they would take the dead out of the house was feet first. So your psychic portal is directly from your feet. We always wash our feet, Hindus, Europeans, Muslim, you've got to look at lineage and you've got to look at all bases to be able to understand history and culture and psychic energy. So it's written in all texts. It's shown in all paradigms. So yes, sometimes we do have to think outside the box. And interestingly enough, I'm making this video directly after we had the eclipse in Sagittarius, which is all to do with values. Values, tradition, religion, spirituality. So we're having to, again, think outside the box for things. And there are different videos you can do, but you will find, you're going to need to have a very strong third eye. You're going to have to develop protection through your psychic development. I do coaching on my website if you need help with it. And it will come and go. It never goes. We all have it. It's just our ego is involved, third eye, to tell us what we are sensing, seeing, feeling. It doesn't match. Okay, it doesn't match what we have been taught. So we are in non-believing. It doesn't mean something can't happen. It can happen, and at times you will then be forced to think outside the box to find ways to be able to psychically protect yourself. Any questions? Okay, we have shadow people. That's one thing that you can experience, and especially when indigo children are, and the young, because the young have less ego, so the young are more susceptible to psychic attacks, but they're also very visual. They're also able to see through people's energy. So if a child is very quiet, and that they'll be deeply intuitive. If they have maybe, a condition as a disability, they're going to be more inclined to see and sense, because their sixth sense of another aspect of themselves is developed higher. So a lot of us, if we were empaths and we were very, there was a very strict situation, or there was a very toxic environment, you're more inclined to be very regimented, very sensory. So the sensory attributes of psychic development can activate quite early on in age, and it keeps going. It doesn't stop. It just keeps opening up. So yes, you do find it is quite important. And I have worked with family members. I've worked with, clients where they've had issues with their children with a sleeping routine. They haven't been sleeping. They've been having like nightmares. And I find sometimes as simple as clearing the room, putting crystals in the room, moving the bedroom around, making sure that your, the feet of the bed is not facing an open door. That the feet of the bed of the person or younger generation is not facing a mirror. I tend to prefer no mirrors. I do have a mirror behind me. In the early days when we researched Nostradamus went through, and this time at the moment is quite taboo on these subject matters. We're having to learn due to circumstances that are happening to us, and this is part of what we call the awakening. But it is also to do with spirituality and our spiritual practice. So whatever your spiritual practice is that you find works for you, sometimes at times we might hit a snag and we may need to actually think outside the box. And that's when we're having different experiences. So bedrooms, the way they're laid out, I'll do a video and I will upload it. I'll try and remember to link it to this video. And I did do one a long time ago, but I'm re-updoing the content so that this does become a spiritual channel that you can actually gain different information, psychic development, spiritual attacks, astrology, numerology, hauntings, how to clear your house, everything to do with subjects relating to all things esoteric and spiritual. So the bedroom layout's very important. It's also, if you're always using removals and smudging, what you're doing is not allowing your development of your strength inside your psychic gift to be empowered. So it is that, at times, yes, it is very much necessary. And like I said, you'll know when it's occurring because you can be physically moved, okay? You can feel as though there is something on your back at times. And it feels heavy, like something is physically sitting on your back. Other times you can feel tingling. Temperature in a house can change. Profound headaches. Agitation. Now, the agitation can take on almost like you And you'll generally find the way to link where it's coming from, what it is who had you been thinking on? It's permission-based. Who had you been around? Was it lower frequency energies? Were you under the influence? Now, during the development of the third eye, the reason why a lot of people through their awakening became vegan and go into fasting, which is very similar in many cultures, you know, we have times when we are purging, we're getting into light body frequency, and in cultures and certain holy seasons, they will directly fast. So it's because we are clearing our aura and we are detoxing. So with that, you'll find the attachments and the cleansing of the aura comes through. So it'll be food. You'll notice food. Now, when you have an energy shift, it can sometimes feel like you are a different personality. So if you've had a sharp, sudden shift in personality, and when I say personality, it doesn't have to be your personality, I mean your demeanor, have you off the hook, flown off the coop, got aggressive and got really mad and just embodied a completely different vibration to whom you usually are, that potentially can be an attachment energy. And again, I would always suggest go and have a shower, tune into something else, do breathing exercises, blow it out, and then come back down to the anchored energy. So taking your shoes off and grounding yourself. It won't remove it if it's in, it's in. Okay, you got to get it out, and that can be through detox. It may be through the frequency I put up, and you can use Hindu, you can use the one that I've used. And it is a vibration, but it's almost like an exorcism to the energy. That's what I'll say. So once it's in, unless you're a very strong medium and you are able to rid it, when you are having psychic attacks in your bedroom, you have to have the courage to be able to acknowledge what's there and to tell it to go. And this was something that I had when I was very young. So I had to develop it from a very young age. So if you are seeing shadow people, if you are seeing energies in the room, you will know they're there. The room, very similar. I'll come. Hi, Elsa. I'll turn the light off so you can directly see. And I don't have a lighter in here, but, you know, I'm a experienced medium, so I'm used to it. So a lot of times in your room, if you are waking up, we can call it sleep paralysis. So sleep paralysis can be you've woken up. And yes, there's science relating to it, but there's things we can't explain. So generally speaking, when you are having sleep paralysis, you will come out of it and sometimes you will see things in your room. And generally, the temperature drops. The room will turn blue, okay, like this. Foggy blue. Generally, it is when you are in and out and you're a very light sleeper and you come to, it can be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's always the bloody same time, right? I have had experiences where, because I can see, I'm a seer, I'm a medium, I'm a clairvoyant, I now have audio at times, because I have developed it, and because the village that my parents were born in, well, my mother was English, my father was European. That village in particular did have gypsies in it, so it's lineage, okay? But you inherit it, or it can be a 3D circumstance. Everybody has it, but it's where it's activated from. So I would wake up and this happened all through my life. At times, I know when the bloody things are there and I'm like, great. It's when I'm channeling. It's when I clear the energy. And because I'm used to it, sometimes I get a bit lax and it's like, you know, heck, you know, I did some readings. On some people. But when you're channeling, it depends on who that person's vibration was. And I always bloody know, because I'm like, oh, heck, okay, what was that? Now, you know, when it does come in, what you're doing is you are embodying the memory. You are also channeling the direct vibration of when it occurred. And if that energy, be it the person had, you know, they were taking drugs, alcohol, whatever they were doing, then that energy can come through, be it they're here on this realm or not. And you will then have to physically remove it with smudging, prayer, you know, clearing, and sometimes it can be for a month. It won't go away right away. However strong that is, it will directly have to be physically removed from the home. And that can be through crystals, it can be through people coming in to do work on your house. But you also, if you are strong enough, and that's why in Paranormal Activity and some of the movies that they make, it doesn't matter where you go. Once you're activated, you're activated. And if there is an attachment on you, it doesn't matter where you move to. Yes, sometimes it can be locational. Sometimes when you are bringing items into your house, it is energy. Everything is energy. So whenever I get something new, I wash it. Okay? I wash it, I cleanse it, I clear it. If I feel funky when I'm touching it, it goes. I remove it from the house because it has attachment in it. If you bring new items into your house, you need to clear them. They have energy that resonates with another human being, with another location, with another time. Many times we can have 1800s items, we can have coins. I psychically channeled a coin one time, and this person, it was during World War I, World War II, and it was handed down. And this man, he was a man at this point, pretty much from his childhood, he had a lot of depression. Depression and certain conditions can actually develop your psychic gift earlier. Schizophrenia, for instance, you can be more inclined to have visions. A lot of times in the nursing industry that I worked, what I have found is that some of the statements that were made from people that maybe had conditions and they were not completely coherent, they would channel. And I feel many of us have experienced that. We would have been talking to somebody and just randomly they would have said something and it's like, that's ever so weird. Because the ego is not involved. And what do we mean by ego? They're not thinking. It's a host. We are a channel. We are a vibration. We communicate. So what is needed to come through, that person's, the soul's energy can embody another human being to transfer the communication to you. It is telecommunication. So this haunting I had was, I'd woken up and I was pregnant at the time. And I had felt the bed. I felt the temperature, and that was the first sign. I was like, oh, shit. Here we go again. And I would have been in my 30s, 29, 30. And I felt myself pinned to the bed. Now, I don't know why this happens. Your head can always move. Right, but my body couldn't move because it freezes the room. You're awake, right? It's paralysis. You're awake. My partner at the time was in bed. And the room turned blue, went foggy, very similar to this. And as I turned, there was a boy standing over my partner, and he was white blue. He had a hoodie on, you know, one of those, it looks like the old wartime kind of hats. And he was with his head over my partner. And when his third eye acknowledged intuition that I was awake, he looked at me. And so I turned and he was over my partner and he looked at me like this. And I just went, oh shit, I couldn't move. Cold air came out of his mouth. Hi, Andrew. Now, so when that happens, shit. Bit like The Sixth Sense. Go watch The Sixth Sense. That was my childhood. I was like, okay, I need to develop this so they can go away. I don't want this problem. I don't want this gift. Blessing. You're chosen. You're awake. It is what it is. Now, you have to live with what you have. You have to do what you have to do. So I went through the rabbit hole, okay? And it was like, talk to my partner the next morning. Who's this boy? He looks the same. She's about 12. Have you had anyone pass in the family? He looks like one of your nephews. I don't know. And I went, I'm telling you, he's 12. He looks like one of your nephews. He's got unfinished business. And so I called his father. I was like, okay, have you had somebody pass away? He was 12 years old. I think he wanted to be a pilot. He's 12 and he looks like your grandson. And he goes, yes, my sister. Her son died of polio. I went, okay, I don't know, this kid's got unfinished business, man. And, you know, he goes, oh, you know, I'll have to talk to my sister. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks passed, had a barbecue. We had gone to the beach. It was a group gathering. And, you know, this boy did come through about 2-3 times and then he stopped. And I was like, thank God for that much. I don't know, maybe me casting the message over saying, hey, you know, your son's around, that it would end the situation. Funny enough, my daughter started choking that day, and she was an infant at the time. You know, she was young, and I'm sort of sitting with her. I'm going, oh God, she ate, you know, trying to get her right. And then this lady taps me on the shoulder, and she goes, I believe you've seen my son. I'm thinking, and of course he had told me that his sister actually lived in England, and I was in Australia, so I was like, I'm not going to see her, right? And so she's tapped me on the shoulder. She says, I believe you've seen my son. And I went, I beg your pardon. I'm like, what? And she says, my son. She goes, a few psychics have said, she goes, I don't understand. I don't understand why he keeps coming through. I said, he's fine. I said, I think he wanted to be a pilot. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I gave her a reading, and then it came back again. And now this is easy. Oh, God. 17 years ago. And when you're developing your gift, you've got to come to it through different angles. Now, the unfinished business this child potentially could have. My daughter's asking me to turn the heater on. Meanwhile, I'm working. So, the unfinished business was, this is one way you guys can understand hauntings. Number one is, if a soul has unfinished business, they're coming back. It will be high during birthdays, high during anniversaries of passing, and if unfinished business is there. You may also have an asset of theirs. That can hold the link. So the unfinished business this child had, A can be if the person hasn't let them go, or B it can be if they were cremated and the ashes weren't released. Because we need to release and let go for the soul to transfer over. So sometimes it switches, sometimes it's like, look, you know, it's time. And psychically, your connections with your family members will have a way they will communicate with you. And if they feel you have a new cycle, a new path, and you need to move beyond it, they will wish you to let them go. So that was one element of the reading that I had missed. And through the development, I understood. So yes, you can have 3D human beings that have passed away come through. You can also have darker energies. That can be if that person embodied darker energy, maybe went through horrific traumatic experiences, especially World War coins. They can have dark energy on them, depending on if that person was reliving those memories. It's harnessed inside that coin. Okay. What other things can we have? Shadow people. Now, shadow people also are quite common. Not all the time are they bad. They directly can be there to watch you, and at other times they can be more malefic. So you will know the difference. A, because your gut will tell you. Nervousness and agitation, not so great. You know, darker, it can also be there to collect a person. So if there's a sick person in the house, make sure you keep the house clear. Now, I'm not saying, especially if they've got asthma or something like that, be smart about how you clear the house, because you will need to actually protect that person logically as well. Any questions? So yes, I'm going to try and get rid of this post my daughter sent me. Everyone's complaining it's cold. Maybe her room's haunted. I'm having my coffee. Oh. He needs to be crossed. Yes. Mirrors and portals. In what? Okay, mirrors and portals. sometimes when we are tuning into different ways something can go, you're actually timeline jumping. And so for a while you can do that, but if you do that too readily, you can become distorted. You'll feel split. There are multiple realities. Mirrors and portals, yeah. So portals are opportunity windows. They can also be transformation cycles and timelines, but we generally are, it's almost like our third eye is constantly creating the new path forward. What you think you're creating. You have to be careful. That's why I said during the eclipses, spirituality, intent, it's like you need to trust many times through my psychic development, you know, and this is what we were talking about in the old days of black magic, white magic and things to that degree, is trusting that universe knows better. It's really true. Our ego has attachment. The universe gives us everything we need. When we are setting intentions, we are seeking outside ourselves and we are not having faith. And 9 times out of 10, when I maybe had a thought process that something could go one way, when I let go, it actually turned out far better than I had ever felt logically in my mind it could be. So the more you can be away from your ego and actually trust, the better. Meditation can help you actually ground yourself, but portals, it depends on the type of portal, okay? So at the moment, because it's eclipses, the energy's open. Portals are open. You need to directly know you have all the tools inside of yourself to handle each step. And it's like I say, you're building pyramids in the sky and, you know, you're hoarding food and getting everything ready and it's like, I'll be okay. Then the house burns down. Well, how did that plan go? You know, you just poured all your cash into that and now you got nothing left. It's like practicality. But then you have hands and you can resow crops and you can, you know what I mean? So it's being rational, practical, but portals open, which are potentials. And generally speaking, they can come through in your mind's eye. Psychically, sometimes you'll have dream states that will give you your future. Sometimes you will, and you'll know the difference. They'll be different in colour, okay? Sometimes, and it depends, like higher octanes can actually dream in colour. Some only dream in black and white. So it depends on, you know, the level you're at and how it comes through. And it's quite cryptic in a dream. It's very similar to channeling psychic energy. You need to know how to see it. You need to know how to understand it. And the quicker you deal with it, the quicker they're going to leave you alone. So if you are a type of person that does see, you need to be very grounded. You need to be, I could say strong. Now, strength of mind to not allow evil to come in, but not to put evil out either. So when you're thinking on a person that hurts you, not to place evil towards that person because it's going to come back. And it's futile. It's a waste of energy. When you're tuning into the past, the more we go through dark night of the soul and healing, it's very much attachment energy, but it's already been there. It's been a build-up. So it's been a build-up of junk that we're spiritually holding on to. 9 times out of 10, you can actually lose a lot of weight as you are letting go. It's attachment, so it's holding on to you. It's hurts, pains, experiences. And so we're embodying that energy. And as we let go, it physically frees us and it lightens the load. So purging, as I said, when you purge, you can go to the toilet. You can throw up. You can cry. You can gain weight. You can lose weight. But it's flushing. So generally, it's the polar opposite. When you're needing to upgrade, you'll gain weight because you're needing fuel for future tense events. Always a sure sign you're going to need a lot of energy. Yeah. So your body energetically knows what's coming. Why do you think animals in the animal kingdom can sense? Pay attention to your environment. Birds go quiet, warning. The animals will tell you. But you need to be connected in. Sometimes we're too in our ego. A person who's in high ego all the time and self-indulgent will not acknowledge walking into a room and know that a person has had a fight in the room because they're too much in their ego. A person who's too much in their ego will always talk about themselves, you know? So self-awareness is key. Understanding that having a gift is a gift and a burden. It's also a responsibility for your psychic protection. Use it effectively. What you put out comes back to you. If you're thinking evil towards a person that has hurt you, it's going to bloody come back to you. It's a waste of energy. Your energy, you're recreating new timelines every day. Every intent and vibration you move into, when we go down into darkness, we come back up with less ego. Questions? Any experiences you've had that you want clarification on? Shiny surfaces, always clean them. Full moon, new moon. Full moon, clearing. Clear the house. Every full moon, clear your house. Especially connected to certain zodiacs. When we have moon moving through Scorpio, deeply psychic. When we have energies in Pisces, very psychic. At the moment, huge development of spirituality. Huge development. Sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis, again, there are attachments, but you're having an experience. Sometimes you can be having upgrades, but you're learning how to astro travel, basically. So sleep paralysis is when you're in that development state. And, you know, we actually are astro traveling when we're awake. When it's highly developed, you can actually not be here and be somewhere else. So when I channel a person, I did a channeling for a person the other day, and it was a missing person, and during that time, I can be in the location it occurred. Now, the problem is when you are doing that, you need to be very, very self-aware that if a person's requesting it of you and you have the soul connection, it's permission-based, yes, okay? If it's not, don't enter that person's energy. Especially if you're trying to do a guided meditation on another person, you'll know. You connect. If it's permission-based, you're going to be able to do the work. If it's not, they're going to block you. You're going to keep hitting it, a wall. That's why a lot of times when people come to me for psychic readings, they'll say, why are you testing me? Because it's not a test. Their guard's up. Okay? Their guard's up, so they're not letting someone in because they don't believe. And that's them, not me. So, yes, we can have people that are blocked. As to astro traveling in your walking day life, you can astro travel. But if you are going to a location where a stabbing, a murder, or something to that degree has happened, if you are high on the empath energy, you will feel what occurred, and it can feel painful. So I've been to a park where, you know, a person was murdered. I embodied that energy, and I was none the wiser of this, and I told my sister-in-law, what happened over there? And she goes, what are you saying? It was a murder. So you can embody that energy. You can feel the vibration. You can then see. It's almost like you are physically that human being that had the harm done to them, and you're visually seeing what is happening to that individual. So you're reliving their death. Not fun. Which kind of makes sense because I worked in the care field. I call it the ferryman. You know, it's like, I'm here to take you to the other side. Yes. It's where a lot of my psychic development came from. So, as to astro traveling, you can. I've been feeling very disconnected this week to everything. Yes, because we've got Sagittarius there. Spirituality. Only will it stop when you're upgrading. When you've got too much ego and you're healing, your body, to protect itself, will shut the psychic gift down, but it's not gone. You're just too 3D. You're having to address things in your 3D life. It closes down so your aura is protected. It's like a flashlight. When you're present in this moment, it's closed. Shop's closed. When you are vague and daydreaming, you can journal. That's why never stare into a mirror. The first, as I mentioned, I'll go back to Nostradamus. He went through spirituality, he went through astrology and astronomy, and he would scry. And scrying should always be done on a very, very protected, non-used, brand new mirror or bowl that has been cleansed and covered. Because energies in your bedroom mirrors, attachment energies can get stuck inside them. So you should regularly clean them off the full moon. Don't gaze off when you're brushing your bloody teeth into a friggin' mirror. Don't do that, because you can actually channel and you can get attachment. So mirrors in bedrooms, I'd prefer not. As to daydreaming, when you're sick, your aura will be down. You'll have more psychic attacks. Hello, we found an old gun in the basement. Oh, it's interesting. Yep. Yes, you can do super chats for personal questions. Yeah, attachments and things to that degree. You can do a clearing. I don't necessarily... There's something else down there. It's not just the gun. There's something else. Off to the right of the staircase. Yeah, off to the right of the staircase. Marks on the body can be, again, psychic attacks, but it's entities. It's demonic and entities. There is a painting, and again, it's the, what do you call it? I do a Jinn removal. I do a Jinn removal for that one. Simply because, you know, when you're getting physical marks, yes, that can happen. Like I said, very similar to paranormal activity. It will be A, environment. B, you need to develop your psychic gift to protect yourself. Make sure you're setting your bedroom up in a particular way. If it's an old house or you're around someone that has a habit or anything to that degree, or you're tuning into them, I feel it's more environmental though. Environmental or something you have in your home. And look, I'm very careful about watching. I can watch scary movies, but I have to clear myself. Okay? That's okay, doll. Yeah, so I have to clear myself, but if you do watch it, you can actually manifest, because it's manifestation. So anything negative you're thinking and you're moving into it, you're thinking, clear yourself after. Think about something else for half an hour and it'll block it out. But if you feel funky that day, clear your house. So in the basement, doll, what I'm seeing, okay, I'm seeing, why is it so bloody dark down there? Has it not been renovated? It feels a bit murky. It's very dark. Is there white paint on the staircase? Balustrade, you know, the wood. Is it white? Whitewash paint. Getting a bit hungry. Having a Turkish coffee in the morning because I woke up at 3. Partner's working, I'm working. I've still got the special out this morning, so if you want to grab it, because by the afternoon I'm taking it down. The sale for the Skype. Okay. Because what I'm saying is white paint. It's like, it's a bit damp, right? Is there leaking in that basement? Is that because it feels damp? It feels very wet, muddy. Now, this can be two things. It could be a channeling of the connection of the person who owned that. But off to the right, is there a basin? We found the gun while renovating. There, okay, yeah, because I'm seeing mud. Okay, it was there, a basin to the right. Now, was it a cement basin? It looks like, you know, the old troughs. Yeah, that's why. The energy is right there and it's near the wall, okay? I'm seeing the staircase coming down It's so freaking tight. It's like you can hardly get bloody around there. That's how it feels. But it feels there, okay? That's where I'm seeing it. Number one, you need to get rid of the damp if the damp's still there. There's something there near the wall. Now, yeah, it feels in the wall. Well, what is that in the wall? Now, is there, like, was there a box unit or, you know, there's something there, man. Something's in that wall. It's either been placed in the wall now. When I feel something, you got to go check. Seriously, please go check. Okay, I'm saying wood struts to the right of the sink. Was there a box panel? Now, this could be electrical board. It's large. It looks like a door frame. Literally looks like a door frame. It's not the gun. It's what's down there. Yeah, there's something else down there. The gun's fine. The gun's probably protecting you. I don't know. Yes, I would knock on the wall. If there's a hollow, get a spiritual person to come in or book a reading. I'll give you a hand and we can do it together, right? I'll get a girlfriend to help me. She's a spiritual removalist. You know, have some people with you and we'll get you ready for it. But there's something in that wall. Have you completely I'm not feeling you've finished the renovation yet, no? You haven't finished it yet, have you? Oh, it's a beautiful house, but that's problematic. I'll be cleansing myself after, lady. Okay, also have been behaving in and out. I do feel there's a box. You're going to find a box. Oh, no, you didn't find a bloody doll, did you? Yeah, because it feels... What you'll find is when there's water, excessive water, it can manifest dark energy. It's whomever owned that house... And I don't feel it was the person who owned the gun. I don't, okay? But it does feel that there is something there. Now, it can just merely be the dark energy because when you have damp, it can manifest things, okay? Then when, you know, energies come in, it's literally, we have energy all the time. So as we have a third eye, what happens is your kids go to school, right? They've had a crappy day. They might meet a friend that has a mother that is doing things that are wrong. And what do we mean by wrong? You know, illicits, things to that degree. Attachment energy is on that. A person could be sick. Attachment energy is on that and then tags on because the child's indigo. They're open with their aura and they bring it home. And you'll know when it's happening because the energy will build up. It's like a battery. So it builds up, builds up, builds up, and it's malefic, it's manifested. So you need to do the spiritual cleansing, make sure there's no damp. I told you, that's what I mean. So, floods a lot in the bottom. That's what I'm feeling. It's money, it's malefic, and it's like... But it feels like there could be one in the wall. Yeah. Yeah. And look, water moves, right? So it goes under and it can come in. It could simply be that. You can do a spiritual cleansing, right? Make sure you get rid of the leaks where you can and you'll find it will dissipate. But while the damp's there, once a week, go smudge it. That's what I'd say. Put some crystals down there, smudge it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But it's energy, so it can be two things. A, it could be physically that, or B, it's something has been placed in there. And sometimes, like we said, we're talking about black magic here, we're talking about dark energy. It's, you know, something's there. That's where they're showing me. That's where my guides are showing me. It's in that location. So just make sure after we've done this video, guys, what you do is to detox from this, is to breathe in high enough that, you know, you're peaking and holding it, and then blow it out. And then do it a few times. And then you get a smudge stick and you clear your crown. Okay? Think about something else for half an hour after you finish thinking about it. And then if it's too heavy, just go have a shower. It's all intention and third eye and how you control it. I'm used to it, so, you know, I usually go on with my day, forget about it. No, it needs to be talked about. And it's not that anyone's going to get a psychic attack. I'm teaching you how to protect yourselves for that. So Jinn removal, the energy of dampness can manifest in all of our houses. So I've got a garage. My garage does the same. So I need to regularly smudge it because there's damp there. If you've got leaky taps in bathrooms, smudge it, you know. Make sure your mirrors are clear. Jinn removals, once the energy's in, you've got to physically have, you know, spiritual practices to physically get rid of it. And doing an aura cleanse isn't going to do it. It's not enough. You're strong enough, but the energy will still be there. So meanwhile, you're strong and you're observing it. No, thank you. That's okay. Any other questions while I'm here? Just saw you live, popped in. Okay, so I just wanted to touch base with that because the Jinn originated from, Jinn can be a lot of things, but it's evil eye, black magic, psychic attack. So it's a frequency to rid it, a little bit like an exorcism. That's what I'll say. And once it's got to that, unless you're a real strong medium or you are a whole, you know, a guru, a healer, you're not going to be able to get rid of it. So that is one way. In the community tab, as I mentioned, the one that I did is because the origin of psychic energy was way back from the Egyptians, and it had connected to it a psychic curse. And that was the genie, okay? Not the Jinn, the genie. It is in different biblical texts. So that guided meditation I put up, regardless of your religious beliefs, is probably the only thing that's going to get rid of it. So you can use a Hindu one if you want to, or you could go to a physical priest, okay? Whatever you believe. It is an attachment. It's to get rid of it. It's so that you're home and the Gestalt mustn't, so no evil eye comes upon you. And in every tradition we have such, right? Go and check it out. You can pick any one. There's Hindu, there's, you know, Arabic ones. There's, I'm sure there's, go check, okay? I just wanted to give you guys an update about it because it's from my experience. I will do other videos like this. Thank you for your kind donations. I appreciate it. And feel free to comment after it spreads the video so people can get the information. And yeah, I'll be building the folders up. If you need a booking, there is a still a special on at the moment. So feel free to go grab it now. And it's unlimited. You can book it for any month. But it's going down today. So love and light. Take care. Thanks, sweet. Anything from your twin today? I feel at the moment where they are is psychologically they are, how do I put it? They're not, I don't feel today movement will happen today. I feel nurturing is going on. There is a bit of harsh energy going on over there. So a bit of victim consciousness, but moving beyond it. Why are they so quiet? They're so quiet. Wherever they are, they're quiet. Take care, guys.